Hey Capricorn, how's it going? This is your end of April. Wow, it's already the end of April. Into May reading. My name is Dre. Um, yeah. Follow my Twitter. Email me if you want a reading. I'm just going to try to keep it simple. As simple as I can. Which means a lot of different things. I'm using the Golden Thread Tarot. It's a very interesting deck. I like how it's all black. I'm not using reversals. I won't be reading reversals with this deck because I've played around with this deck a little bit. And I think I've given myself reading, my friends readings with this deck. I think it's just better. I don't know. There's something about this deck that just makes me think it should just, all the cards should just stay upright. So I'm not going to go too much into the last reading. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. That last reading, if I can remember it, because I didn't watch the video back. But you guys, along with a lot of other signs, you're at a point right now where things are at, it's a turning point for everybody right now. And it's also new beginnings. We have the Fool at the bottom of the deck. Okay. We also have the Knight of Wands, or the Six of Wands. I thought that was the Knight of Wands. Six of Wands. The King of Wands. Three of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. And the King of Swords. We have the Seven of Swords. The Hangman, the Devil, your card, the Ten of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. So I feel like the lesson for you guys this month or for this time period would be to use everything that's at your disadvantage to your advantage. And I feel like that will help you guys to understand like where your actual limitations are, to understand like where you guys can sort of rebuild yourself from here. Three of Pentacles over the Devil, that's an energy of rebuilding, but it's also an energy of like trying to maintain focus. And I see you guys are trying to do that with a lot of areas of your life. In your marriage, in dealing with either like authority figures or people that you work under. And again, general energy, general reading. So I feel like you guys, if you're able to really sort of, like outmaneuver the competition, outmaneuver, get ahead of any sort of shiftiness that might be around you in terms of like there might be a changing job situation, or there might be you might have a partner that you're sort of unsure about, or you're not entirely 100% about their intentions, or a friendship or an ally like that, where you're just like you're not understanding where they're coming from, or they're giving you mixed messages. And you might understand that, and you might feel that. And I feel like that would be a good time to sort of realize what about this needs to change, what about this needs to die, what about this needs to be sort of shifted so all of the energy is more under your control, because you guys, I'm getting the sense that you're trying not to spin out of control right now, because there are a lot of things that is making you sort of actually feel that way, that's sort of inclining you to think that way, especially when it comes to if you guys are married, or if you're in a intimate committed relationship with somebody, where it's just like the hurt that they've given you, it's like you can't possibly imagine feeling more pain right now, or you're afraid of what could happen, you're afraid of what's happening. Somebody's walking out on you, you're walking out on somebody else. For some of you, there might be somebody else in the picture, regardless if it's love or not, to where you're trying to figure out, or you're trying to understand their intentions and their motives, and whether or not it'll be possible for you to sort of execute this new beginning with them. If it's not external, it's definitely internal. You're trying to understand like how can you sort of use the playing field to your advantage, because I'm getting the sense that some of you just feel like things are really out of your control right now. But this energy here with the Fool and the Three of Pentacles and the Devil, it's all about, I'm seeing it's trying to rein in control, trying to rein in either people that you're around that are just nobody's talking to each other, things are just sort of disharmonious, things aren't, it's hard for you guys to even come to a consensus or come to a conclusion about anything, because everybody has their own feelings. And it's not like they're really in the position right now to really open up to you, or you're definitely not in the position to open up to them. You're not in a position where you want to be open. And I feel like that was something I said in your last reading, where it's more like we have to allow these chances to present themselves if there are openings for it. We can't always just sort of wall off other people just to sort of get to where we need to be. And this Three of Pentacles, again, sort of in the center with your card, the Devil, I'm getting the sense that it's all about trying to practically rebuild your relationships around you. And there's three people here. You could be one of them. So it's like you and two other people, or like just a group of you guys, co-workers, people you live with, family, where it's just like things right now, a new page is beginning, but it's really about how you're seeing it, not how they're seeing it. It's more about what actions you're making, and what commitments you're making, what commitments you're breaking, strategically, because it's like we can't have certain people in our lives because they are keeping us from being a better version of ourselves. And so it's like you want to come out on top. But right now, how that is manifesting itself isn't clear right now. But the big thing to focus on is sort of controlling what you can control. Excuse me, Three of Pentacles to me is a very intimate card, sort of laser focusing in on the day-to-day, work and eating right and sleeping and anything else that you have. So sort of keeping all that in order. I see the devil as like sort of like transformation a little bit. Transforming yourself to sort of get into that habit of understanding that you can't control everything, and that, the world around you right now is probably a little bit tense and just stressful, emotionally, mentally, physically. But we all deal with pain in our own time, and For some of you, you've been betrayed or somebody's walked out on you. You're thinking about walking out on somebody. But don't feel like that you failed because of that. Don't feel like that something has been lost or that something has been sort of like, again, that you failed, because it's more like these things happen to sort of get us onto a different track in our lives, to sort of bring us to a different point in our lives to where we'll be able to be freer, to where we'll be able to live more in our own truth, to live more, to understand our worth a little bit better. And I see that. Just one more card here. We have the Two of Swords. So there's a decision that, a fundamental decision, an important choice, an important realization that you have to come to. And it's not anything that anybody else is going to hold your hand and help you through, or, you can seek counsel, but ultimately the decision will come down to you. It'll come down to whether or not you actually feel like that you have enough leeway to make this choice, whether it could be starting a new job, starting a new career, going with a new project regardless, because you've put a lot of study, there's a lot of calculation, there's been a lot of, you've surveyed the land, or if you're trying to date again, there's somebody that's on your mind, you've been talking with them for a while, you sort of understand who they are in a way, but they might be a little bit distant. They'll give you the time of day, but it's not anything that you feel like you can totally just sort of, run and leap into their arms. It's not anything like that, but it's something that you're putting a lot of effort into. For some of you, it's just figuring out you have this huge, you and your partner, you're totally different, or that they've hurt you, or you've hurt them, and you're trying to come out the other side. You're trying to realize how you guys can come forward from that. I'm gonna pull a card for that, because it's just like it's something that you have put a lot of work into. It's something that you are fully devoted to, fully committed to, but it's hard for you to understand like how to move beyond that. And I got the Five of Wands, so it's a transformative energy. So this, the status of this relationship, it's up in the excuse me, it's up in the air. Not to say that it's over, but I feel like that there's something, if there's not codependence here, if they're not totally in control of everything, like money, or if they're not always working, if there's not like an obsessive sort of thing with this energy, I feel like that is just allowing, I feel like that the tension that is evident, the stress that is around, it's only there because one or both of you have to transform out of this energy to realize that, maybe we weren't meant to be together. Maybe this just isn't working out. And I thought that I saw something in you that that wasn't really there. Not to say that there will be a divorce or that there will be, again, a separation, but it's more like you guys having to work through this stressful strife or whatever, just so you guys can understand that there's more opportunities for you two to grow as people, and to not use your words as weapons, not to use your knowledge against, in a way that's more hurtful to yourself than it is for them. Because when we say things about people, we think we're hurting them, but I feel like we're hurting ourselves in the process, because we're just cutting off more bridges. That might be necessary going forward or not. Maybe this person's total shit, and maybe you realize that you've been shit, and that being with you is just not working for me. It's not right for me. So the overall thing, I feel like, is not to be too isolationist, not to be too isolated, not to be too standoffish, or not to be too sort of, again, walled off to what other people are saying or what they're trying to do if they're trying to help you. But at the other end, not being too overconfident, too cocky, thinking that we have everything under control, because that in itself is just revealing that there is an aspect of ourselves that we're either overcompensating for or that hasn't matured enough for us to realize that it's a problem. To understand that when our attitude or when our behavior, when it's suiting us for the better, but also understanding that sometimes what's good for us isn't really good for everybody. That our actions, whether we think they're positive or not, they have consequences to those around us. So to not like be too um, demanding of other people, not to be too, flippant or to be too dismissive or to be too, again, demanding. That's just the main energy. And to realize that there is a freedom within you that you have to care for and that you have to nurture because you're either giving it away to other people or you're expecting other people to fill that void for you. Or you're filling that void with other things, with your ego or with your calculations, with your tactics or whatever. But to get to a point to where all these modes in your life, all these function areas of your life, when it comes to dealing with emotions that you'd rather not address or pain that you haven't fully addressed, understanding that that there's something to be gained from that pain. There's something that you can come out of, and that there's something that you can sort of free yourself from, unburden yourself from. But you have to be wise about it, and you have to sort of. It's okay to sort of be selfish in that regard, but also to understand that our actions again have consequences, and that we can't sort of turn a cold shoulder to people that are asking for our help, and we can't turn a cold shoulder to the world when we need their help. We all need each other's help regardless. So yeah, thank you, Capricorn, for this. If you want a reading, I have rates down below. Those are effective forever. I was just going to do that monthly, but for the month, but no. Yeah, they're permanent. So if you want a reading, email me. Follow my Twitter. I need to put something up there, actually. I'm just so busy. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Bye.